Act could become law as early as next year. The bill would make it easier for employees to unionize should they choose to do so. Yesterday's Wall Street Journal featured an op-ed on the bill by Home Depot co-founder Bernie Marcus. And in fact, Mr. Marcus joins us this morning. He's, of course, chairman of the Marcus Foundation, a McCain supporter, and joins us today. Do I have this right, Bernie, from Lake Toxaway, North Carolina?
Lake Toxaway, and it's pouring down here. That's all I can tell you. I hope we don't float away before the day is over.
We'll send a rescue team after you if that's necessary. It's great to have you on the show.
Good for you. Thank you, thank you.
The term EFCA probably isn't as big a household name as it ought to be right now. You're trying to make it an issue. Tell us what it would do.
Well, this is, it's really like stealth legislation. I mean, when you think about it, you know that when they give a survey and they ask people how they feel about this bill, 78% of the people are against it. So therefore, the unions don't want to have it in public. I mean, they're just trying to do it through stealth. They don't want the people to understand what this is all about. It's called the Free Choice Act. Now, what does it mean? It means it's not a Free Choice Act. This is exactly like Michael Phelps diving into a pool and not having another competitor swimming against them.
Right.
The unions have lost about over 4,000 elections over the last several years. They don't want to lose any elections. They want a slam dunk, and they want to be able to unionize whoever they want to unionize at will. And that's what this bill does. And I don't care whether you're a small businessman, a medium-sized businessman, or a large business. You're in deep trouble, and you better wake up to it and understand the facts. The facts are that this is slowly but surely happening. The House passed this bill twice with only 2 people voting against it. The Senate voted on it, and all Democratic senators voted for it.
And in that case, the only thing that prevented it from becoming law was the Democrats' inability to overcome a filibuster. And there's no guarantee that's going to happen in the next Congress, right?
No, that, by the way, that's the key. I mean, frankly, for people that run businesses out there, by the way, I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican, this is going to affect you no matter who you are. And so you better understand, if the Republicans don't have a filibuster, if they can't overcome this bill, this is going to be law. If Obama's the president, he has promised that he's signing this legislation. He sponsored the legislation. And so the only hope that business has is that this law can be stopped by a filibuster.
Right.
That's very tough stuff.
Let's talk.
And the key, and it's out of the papers. I mean, nobody knows about it.
Right, exactly. Let's talk about just the guts of the bill really quick. I mean, in most cases, I think the big point is that it takes away secret ballots. So if I work on a plant, right, if I work on a manufacturing line, I suddenly have no more anonymity, and I'm obviously more pressured to vote to unionize if, in fact, that's what the unions want to do. Your point, too, is labor has lost so many jobs, but they're still pouring money into lobbying and on the Hill. So they have huge incentive to see this thing happen.
Well, they basically own the Democratic Party. Let's face it. I mean, there's no question about it. That members of the House and Senate, believe me, that when they're voting with their hands over their noses because they know that bill stinks. And they understand it. But they also know that they'll have the union money against them, and they're intimidated by it. And therefore, you know, when you take people like Pete Stark, you take people like Barney Frank, who go to third world countries, and what they say in third world countries is, we've got to have unions here, and we need to have a secret ballot. Well, here they go to third world countries, they want secret ballots, and here in the United States, they don't want it. How does this work? Where's the justice? Even George McGovern, who is the most liberal of liberals, said in an article that he wrote in the Wall Street Journal that this was a travesty, and it was a shame that the Democratic Party is pushing this bill.
But Bernie, a lot of people don't know the specifics in the bill. Is your biggest problem the getting rid of secret balloting, or is it this idea that you no longer hold a vote on one day? Once they get cards from enough members of 50% or greater, the place can become a union shop, and it's an open polling for forever. What very simply is your biggest problem with the bill?
It's a secret, the secret ballot.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, people can sign cards and they can be intimidated. By the way, there are facts and facts and facts on this issue. 3 people come to your house and say, hey, Joe, you want to sign this bill? All your friends are signing the bill. What are you going to do? You sign it. Yeah. You always signed it, and they always signed it knowing that there was going to be a secret ballot, and they could vote their conscience when they wanted to vote their conscience. Now it's peer pressure. And getting these signatures is going to be the easiest thing in the world. So if they collect 50% plus 1 vote, you're unionized. That's it. You have no rights from that point on. You don't control your destiny, whether you're the business owner or whether you're the employee. You're dead in the water. You are now a vassal working for the union. And let me tell you something. I'm not against union, but this is the most anti-democratic bill I've ever seen in my life. How they have the chutzpah to try to put this bill through is beyond me. But you have to understand something. They're also trying at the same time, in July, they introduced a bill to take away the right to work states, have their right. The right to work states, this is going to be a trifecta for the unions. What they feel now is if they have a Democratic Congress, if they have a Democratic Senate, if they have a Democratic president, they're gone for broke. It's the trifecta of all time. What's going to happen?
Why aren't more business leaders speaking out like you are?
I don't know. You have to tell me, Becky. I don't have a clue. I mean, I got agitated by it 2 months ago when I heard about it, and I said, this can't be. It can't be. And by the way, so few CEOs know about it. Why they don't know about it, I don't have a clue. I mean, obviously, they're not going to read it in the New York Times. The New York Times is not going to tell them about it. But the truth is, it's not out there. The information is not out there. I have been on radio shows. I've tried to write articles in the paper. I've tried to get people stimulated. Hopefully, they're waking up. All I can say is business people out there, you better call all your friends. You better call everybody you know, and you better tell them they better start getting involved in this. And the way to get involved with this, and the last time I was on, Senator Hatch had a website called unionfacts.com. Unionfacts.com will give you all the information on how to fight this, and you should do it.
Bernie, you know, we get email from the left and from the right, and we can never win, but the people who are, I guess, pro-labor, you could say, are going to write us and say, look, it's a vote. It's still a vote. If they don't want you to unionize, peer pressure, you be damned. You don't have to vote for the union. What's your response to that?
How would you like to not vote November 2nd? How about if we take away your right to vote in a secret ballot? That's baloney. That's absolute nonsense. And anybody who buys that has got to have their head examined. Everybody knows what this is. It's a power play for power. This becomes the biggest thing in it because every company out there will be unionized. You think about what effect this is going to have on the economy. You think it's not going to raise prices to the consumer. You think that companies who have now established, I'm talking about foreign companies that have opened up auto companies in the United States, they've opened up in the southern states. You think that they are going to become General Motors and Ford? Of course not. They're going to move out. If I was a manufacturer and I had a right and I had the ability to produce something overseas, why would I do it here when I knew that this act is in place? This is going to drive business out of the United States.
I'm amazed, Bernie, at how this is personal for you. I mean, what's your stake in this? You're retired.
Hey, listen, I am a product of the free enterprise system. You know, I grew up in Newark in a slum. You know, I grew up in worse consequences than Obama did, all right? I grew up in a slum on a 5th floor walkout. And my parents told me that this is a great country and you can have anything you want, that freedom was the key here, that no one was going to take that freedom away from you. I believe in it. I love this country, and I'm willing to fight for everything that made me who I am. And you know what? That may not seem good to the left, but that's who I am. And my ability to give back to this country, this is my last shot to give back to this country, to wake people up and say, wake up, start fighting, guys. This is the end of the line for you. If you don't fight back, you're dead in the water.
It's great having you on the show, Bernie. We hope to have you back soon.
Thank you very much.